think people who voted for him before now see him how he is, trying to fight for his career, and I think a lot of people have changed their minds because of him. They don't like being lied to.
He's probably the best of what we have, unfortunately. And I know that sounds crazy, could sound like that, but he's a more liberal, but at the same time he would probably be able to. I think he'll be able to fight this, and I think he's got it in him.
But he did come down to Conservative Club occasionally. People reported him citing of Boris Johnson, but then he supported citing the Loch Ness Monster as well, but he didn't appear very often.
Do you live in Uxbridge?
Yes, I do, just up there.
How do you feel about having Boris as your local MP?
I'm not happy at all.
He's jolly, isn't he? You know, he's sort of... So now when he gets out of a cab, he roughs his hair up and then he all goes all wobbly and it's part of his act, you know.
It would be nice to have an MP that actually lives here rather than somebody that doesn't.
Kensington, I think, as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, the lifestyles are totally different. And, yeah, it would be nice to have a proper local MP.
Yeah. Well, it's much like all politicians, I'm afraid. They all lie, don't they? But then that's part of their job, isn't it? I mean, if they told the truth, it'd be a terrible place, wouldn't it? Yeah, but I never did like him, but then I'm a socialist, so that's probably not. Yeah. There are some about.
What do you think about Boris Johnson?
Oh, he's a fantastic leader. I do appreciate him and like him since he was, where did he start? Before he became MP, he was a forgotten position. But I follow him. He's a lovely guy. He's a good guy.
I have to preface this by saying I'm actually from Australia, and I've been here now 4.5 years.
Okay.
So I'm not a dinky-die Brit, although my parents were English. But I think he's the worst Prime Minister that I can recall.
From Australian as well, that's quite damning, considering you're the Australian Prime Minister recently.
Yes, don't talk to me about the Australian Prime Ministers. I thought I was escaping politics when I came over here. Of course, I landed in this disaster, with COVID and Boris, yes.
So if Boris Johnson is suspended from the House of Commons for 10 days or more, there will be a by-election here in Uxbridge, so he'll have to fight to remain as an MP for the area. How do you think that would go?
Well, I need to see what's on offer, really, because at the moment I don't know. I wouldn't vote Labour.
Why wouldn't you vote Labour?
Because right down there, the leader doesn't know what a woman is.
Okay.
He can't define a woman, so that's enough for me to not vote for them.
That's a strong enough. So that's
absolutely
brilliant.
Yeah, that's very that's very important to answer a simple question. But at the moment, he can't answer that, so I don't think I would vote for Labour.
What is it what do you think people in Uxbridge like about Boris Johnson?
I don't know.
I think people who voted for him before now see him how he is, trying to fight for his career, and I think a lot of people have changed their minds because of him. They don't like being lied to, and they think, especially the poor people, have been let down with their loved ones saying, don't go out, don't do this, don't do that, and because he's seen to be enjoying himself, even though he says it's political, and he was just in a meeting, but it was more a meeting because I don't think you need the wine and the cheers and people laughing. That's not really a political meeting.
It's not like any meeting I've been to, really.
No, it's not going to be. I don't know how it is. As I say, you have to wait to when the end of this inquiry comes to see what's happening to it.
Do you think this might be the end of Boris Johnson?
Well, I hope so. I think he's always been a bit of a buffoon. I mean, we watched him on television many times before he was Prime Minister, and he was an idiot. Well, that's in my opinion anyway. But some people love him. They love him to bits, you know. Jolly Boris. I go down to Conservative Club for a beer, but that doesn't mean I'm a Conservative. But
this is my last question for you. When you're in Uxbridge and you meet people who Boris Johnson is their MP, what do they make of him as a local MP? Does he serve people in Uxbridge well?
Of course, he hasn't been here much, to be honest. When you're Prime Minister, you don't actually come to your constituency terribly often. But he did come down to Conservative Club occasionally. People reported him citing of Boris Johnson, but then he supported citing the Loch Ness Monster as well, but he didn't appear very often.
He's probably the best of what we have, unfortunately. And I know that sounds crazy, could sound like that, but he's a more liberal, but at the same time he would probably be able to. I think he'll be able to fight this, and I think he's got it in him, because anyone else that comes to take over, I don't think will be will be successful. I just don't.
What issues matter to you? What would swing your vote if it's swingable?
Probably, I wouldn't really say I'd swing it that much. I still back sort of what he sort of goes for, so I don't really think I'd change it much. Yeah.
What was about Johnsonism that appealed to you?
I'm not sure. I'm not actually too sure.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know, really, but I would imagine that probably it wouldn't surprise me if he got back in again, because there are a certain amount of people that thinks he's wonderful, and you know.
Are you one of those people?
No. I admit I voted for him last time because you've got to give everybody a chance, I suppose. But with all the muck up of being, Prime Minister, and then it all falling apart, and we're all suffering now. So, no, I wouldn't vote for him again.
Who would you vote for?
I don't know. I haven't looked at who would stand. So it would, if it came down to a by-election, I don't know. It would depend on who would stand.
Do you think he'd get back in?
Well, I'm hoping not. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, look at the landslide he had in 2019, which was a total surprise to me. You just can't trust the voters, can you? He still seems to have some support. But hopefully, yes, we won't see him around for too much longer.
Do you ever see him around the constituency?
No, never. Well, does he ever come here?
He lives in that subsidised house in Kensington, I think it is.
Yes, I don't think he lives here, does he? So, no, I've never seen him anywhere near Uxbridge.
And I think the other people who live here would say, yes, how many times did they visit him since they voted him in, and then how many times did he visit or come or do anything? Once he's got into where he wanted to, then he's off on another direction. Yeah. And as I say, so many people, mixed feelings, and I don't know, we just have to wait and see the end of the inquiry, whether he loses or gets people in. But the thing is, people do like him. A lot of people think he's got some kind of personality. I think he has got personality. He's not a bland, boring sort of person. But he should do more and not try to squirm and lie his way through. Mm-hmm.